All right, let's move ahead. Or let should I say let's go a little bit back to reporting again and the white paper.
Mm-hmm.
So of course this handling was done in 2020. So that's why I'm saying we're going back. So after the
Mm-hmm.
report was submitted to the president, of the Ministry of Justice had work to do.
Mm-hmm.
Is that correct?
Yes, indeed.
In helping the president and the government in general come up
Mm-hmm.
with the white paper. What role did
Yes.
you play in the preparation of the white paper after the report was submitted?
Well, I mean, the drafting of the white paper, as you would imagine, I mean, the number of volumes of the commission's work, which involve basically, I mean, going through all those volumes and drafting a report. I mean, or drafting a white paper. So it's a collective effort to basically look into the factual findings, legal findings, as well as the recommendations of the commission, and to discuss, those findings or those recommendations, which we would basically, reference in the white paper, and to also give an opinion on, for the direction of cabinet and the president.
So after the white paper was published, is there any
Mhm.
work that you did with regards to the activities that the government took or the government initiated after the white paper was published?
Sorry, come again. Whether there was any?
There was any work that you did in
Mhm.
relation to the commission's reports and the white paper that
Mhm.
um, so after the white paper was published,
Mhm.
the government, or should I say the president, established a cabinet task force was established.
Subcommittee.
So there was first a task force, a ministerial task force, and then a subcommittee to support the task force. But apart from being part of the technical subcommittee, is there any other
Mhm.
work that you were involved in, or any
Mm,
other activities?
unless unless I'm guided,
Okay.
basically what I recall, was basically as a member of the technical subcommittee. To basically go through, the list of landed properties that were recommended to be forfeited to the state. And of course, advise the ministerial committee, on the uses to which the government may, put these landed properties. And of course, during the, sale process as well. The sale of the landed properties that were carried out by the receiver Alpha Barry. The when the bids were received, the sealed bids. Mr. Barry insisted that for the purpose of transparency, he wanted bids to be opened in the office of the Solicitor General, and so those bids were also opened in my presence in my office. To determine, from the sealed envelopes, who was the highest bidder for each of the properties that was put out on sale.
All right. So we will get to the bidding processes and the sale of assets, but first
Mhm.
let's stick to the technical committee,
Mhm.
committee rather.
Mhm.
Who's the chair of the technical subcommittee?
The Solicitor General, myself.
Okay. Were you supported by any other personnel from the Ministry of Justice?
Yes, the Director of Civil Litigation, was always, present. And I believe that one of the state council, I mean, uh, was also present for the purpose of, keeping records of the recommendations as we go along. If I am not mistaken, it would have been Jara, what's her name? State Council Jara. Uh, yeah, forgotten the name. So she was basically helping to jot down because there was a lot of properties. So as the discussions were going on, she would jot down, in order to basically feed the final recommendations to the ministerial committee.
So, the technical committee, what was its role? Was it only providing support when it was requested for by the ministerial task force, or was there a specific role it had to play?
Actually, the technical subcommittee was tasked to go through the list of all the properties that were forfeited, that's the landed properties, and to basically make a recommendation to the ministerial subcommittee on the purposes or the uses to which, each of these properties may be put. So, for instance, we would look at the property in Banjul, the location of the property, the description of the property, where it is located, and decide or recommend, to the ministerial committee to say, okay, this property can be sold, or this property can be retained for use by a public office. It can be transferred to a public office, or that the property can be reserved. For instance, in the case of landed properties, in the case of empty landed properties, some recommendations were that it should be reserved, for further use, basically, in the future. So yes, so this is what we did. To go through the whole list and to try and make sense of where the properties were located, in what state they were, that to recommend the action that the ministerial subcommittee should take.
Okay. So this, can we say that you just relied on the report of the commission, but or did the committee had to do visits or engage?
No, we did not do any visits. We just relied on the descriptions provided, by the commission.
Okay, and you did not also engage the perhaps individuals that supported the commission in identification of these properties?
No. We just relied on, the properties and their description somewhere. Described. I think all of them are described adequately enough for us to be able to really, yeah.
So, the properties are located across the country, and also different types or different categories. Some are leasehold properties, others are properties in the regions. Some are even islands. Yeah.
And hills.
And hills, yes. That's the one that blows my mind a little bit, the hills. But yeah. So what can you recall what the sort of technical committee's recommendations are with regards to the islands and the hills, things like that?
I think most of those, the farmlands, there are a lot of farmlands as well. If I recall right, the recommendations relating to, such open places, basically was that it should be, it should be reserved for government use in the future. Or I'm not sure whether we had recommended to be returned to the community or things like that. But those that really didn't have, an ongoing value in the sense that you could sell them as such. I think it was recommended that it would be reserved for future use or returned to the communities. But I would want to be guided by. There was a technical committee. In the report.
Yes.
I'm not sure whether you have it.
Yes, we do.
Yeah.
We do, and I would want us to get into it in detail. So we're going to discuss about it. But what I want to do now is that I want to hand over to the members of the committee. They will ask you questions on issues that we've discussed so far.
Okay.
Yes. And at the next adjourn date,
Mm-hmm.
we will start with the report. By then, we would also send you a copy of the report.
Okay.
And we would discuss the report and also what was subsequently done
Mm-hmm.
by the ministerial task force after they received the report. And we
Okay.
will compare what they resolved to do and
Mm-hmm.
what was recommended by the ministerial task force. And of course, you would also, as chair of that of the subcommittee, you would guide us on the rationale for the certain recommendations that we made.
All right.
All right.
Thank
So
you.
now, Honorable Chair, I would hand over the witness to you.
Thank you, legal. Mr. Marina,
Yes, Honorable.
like she said, we have a few questions for you.
Okay.
Before I allow my honorable colleague to ask, I have two questions.
Mm-hmm.
I want to know who would have been responsible for the appointment of a secretary
Mm-hmm.
to the commission.
Yes, I mean, if you look at, the Commissions of Inquiry Act, you would find that, there is provision for the appointment of a secretary. And of course, it is the president who is given that power to appoint. If you look at the legal notice as well, that established the commission of inquiry, it's also provided there. That the president would appoint, the secretary. So it's the president who has the power to appoint.
So it will be proper to say that it is the responsibility of the office of the president to issue Mrs. Ramatullah Sar an appointment letter.
Well, yes. Ultimately, it's legally speaking, it is it would be the president who directs. For the appointment of the, secretary to the commission, and of course, this can be directed to, the officers within the office of the president or the secretary general's office, or it could be, directed to any other office, including the office of the attorney general. To basically convey the appointment.
My second question would be, as the secretary to the commission,
Mm-hmm.
would it not only be proper for the secretary to take oath?
Mm-hmm.
If yes, why did Ramatullah not taking her oath?
Well, certainly, the secretary, is under, is subject to, the Oaths Act, I believe. And so clearly, if she was appointment in replacement of, the previous secretary, the correct thing would be for her to have also taken an oath as well as to get an appointment later.
Thank you. That's all from me. Now I call. Okay, I will see who have a few questions for this.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you so very much, Dr. Marina, Mr. Marina, sorry.
Thank you, Honorable. I'm not yet a doctor.
Yeah, I was recalling the other Dr. Marina, that's why.
Yes.
So quickly, I just have one question. I'm not sure whether council dealt with it, but
Mm.
I'm a bit concerned with it. I've read your statement. I think you have your statement with you.
Yes, I have it.
Very good. On bullet point number 22,
Mm-hmm.
I understand Alpha Capital has been appointed as the receiver
Mm-hmm.
after the removal of Augustus Plum.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Alpha Capital, you said in the statement that had a meeting with the Attorney General
Mm-hmm.
for having interest to invest, or he was acting on behalf of an organization who had interest to invest in the Gambia.
Mm-hmm.
And after that meeting, later you saw probably Alpha is appointed as receiver. Now, as Solicitor General, normally, I understand the appointing authority for a receiver might be the Attorney General, but of course, will seek advice from
Mm-hmm.
the Solicitor General, of course, who is also an advisor to the Attorney General, if I am correct.
Mm-hmm.
Was there any communication between you and the minister, and was there also any advice you gave to the minister regarding the appointment of the receiver, having known that he has a discussion with the person on something separate from what has been on the table? What is your reaction?
Maybe I will begin by clarifying, the paragraph 22. This was not a statement that basically I was writing, in the course of, alone, so to speak. It was an interview. This was, the interviewers, the people who were doing the interview asked me a question whether I am aware of a meeting that had taken place between the Attorney General and Mr. Alpha Bari, relating to, FTI. And so this was given in answer to that question, basically. So the sequencing, is basically would not follow that immediately after that meeting with, Mr. Barry and Mr. Yai. Mr. Barry, was appointed as receivers. I'm not sure whether you get my point. So these were all questions that were given, and it's only the answers. Unfortunately, the transcript doesn't capture the questions; it only captures the answers. So this meeting, to answer your question directly, this meeting that took place between, Mr. Barry and Mr. Jai and the Attorney General, I believe I was not there. But of course, the Attorney General did inform me. That FTI group, basically had visited his office. With a view to, investing in the tourism sector at the time, and of course in the company of Mr. Barry and Mr. Mustafa Jai. I think this must have been in 2017. So the appointment of Mr. Barry, came later, sometime in 2020. And of course, to answer your question directly, certainly, it was not based on my advice, or my advice was not sought for it, but it was in line with, the Attorney General's, quest to identify, or a headhunt, qualified individuals to basically carry out assignments under the transition, program. So, no, the question, to answer your question very directly, no, my advice was not sought on the appointment of Mr. Barry.
All right, that's fine. Thank you so much. Let me hand you over. Thank you. That's clear.
Thank you very much, Chair. And thank you, Mr. Mariano.
Thank you. I see Ibrahim Ajao here.
No, Mr. Honorable Sir.
Okay. Honorable sir. Yes.
Yes. Mr. Mariano, my first question is about the coins that were handed over to your office.
Mhm.
Were they gold coins or what were they?
I would not be able to know exactly whether they were gold coins or gold colored coins. But then they looked like, the butut. They basically were gold colored. Let me put it that way. But whether they actually was gold coins, I wouldn't know basically. No.
If you look at your statement, number 6,
Mhm.
you mentioned gold coins.
Well, again, this was an interview. The interviewer asked, "Were you all coins?" So it was in answer to the word used by the interviewer. But to answer your question, the coins, were in the form, had a gold color, but whether they were actually gold or just gold plated, I wouldn't know.
You cannot confirm that they were gold coins.
Yeah, Yeah, but they were gold plated suddenly.
They were gold plated.
Yeah.
Mr. Marina, if you come to number 3 in your statement, you made mention about information that we are giving that need further investigation. Where this done, with regards to the suspected unauthorized withdrawals from the central bank and malpractice in the public enterprise like government and social security. Was there any investigation done on this?
That was the mandate of the commission. If you read the legal notice, which is part of the exhibits before the committee, you would find specifically that the commission was tasked to actually investigate these allegations, and that exactly formed the basis of the commission's investigation and subsequent report.
So you don't know whether there was any investigation of that nature.
That's what I'm saying. That's what the commission investigated. That's what the commission basically. I'm not sure whether you're referring to investigation apart from the commission's investigation.
Apart from the commission.
No, this was what the commission investigated basically. Yes, this was the commission's investigation.
Thank you, Mr. Mara, on the ministerial committee. Who was the chair? Who was the secretary? Sorry.
The ministerial committee.
Yeah, who was the secretary? The committee.
I did not attend the ministerial committee meetings, so I'm not sure. Who actually was their secretary.
For the committee that was set up by the ministerial committee, you were the secretary.
Yeah, the subcommittee, the technical subcommittee.
Technical committee,
Yes.
Was there any report from this committee that was signed by you?
I believe there was a report, which I had referred counsel to, and which she said would be the subject of our next, engagement. Yes, there was a report certainly.
Okay. And in the same statement on number 14, you made mention of two properties that were two property sales. Those were exceptional cases. Mr. Moreno, who sold this property to the former president?
Well, again, let me say this was based on questions received from the interviewers. The interviewers asked the question whether I am aware of, two properties which were sold at below market value, by the receiver, and I did indicate that I am aware that, there were two properties which were sold, exceptionally below the market value, because all the properties that were sold by the receiver were supposed to have been sold, above the valuation price which was set by the receiver. And my understanding from this, from the briefing received from the Attorney General, was that the ministerial committee had made exceptions in respect of those two properties. Given that those properties basically were bought by the former president, from the families concerned. I think one of the families was the Joe Doral family, and the other one was the Somposise family. And so, the ministerial committee did approve, the resale of these properties back to the families at the price at which the former president bought them, from them.
Were they sold by the family or they were sold by a third party?
Sorry?
Were they sold by the family?
I believe they were sheriff sales, if I am not mistaken. They were sheriff sales, basically.
Do you know whether there were any development in those properties before the family intervened?
I think these were built properties. They were actually built properties. As far as I know, they were already built properties.
By the families?
Sorry? Yeah, I mean, at the time that they were, but that's my understanding. I would not really, I would not really vouch, but I know for the $12 property that is on Kairaba, I mean, you may also know the property concerned. I mean, and then of course the Somposis farm. I don't know, I mean, the precise development state, but I believe they were both developed properties.
You mentioned about the former or the then secretary to the commission, Mr. Kuna, that there was an issue to the extent that he was asked to resign, later on terminated. What triggered his termination?
I have already, I mean, discussed that with the lead counsel. I indicated that the Attorney General did brief me that, I mean, the commissioners of the commission, Ghana Commission, and the second, I mean, the lead counsel, I mean, in a meeting that he had with them, I mean, did indicate that they would not be able to work with the secretary, and as a result, I mean, he engaged the secretary to basically, I mean, put this to him and to basically ask him to resign since there was a breakdown in the working relationship. And when the secretary refused to resign, that was when, I mean, he had to brief the president, and a decision was taken to terminate him.
But he didn't inform about the reason why they were willing to work with him. He didn't tell anything about the reason.
I know that there were allegations that were made, I mean, by the former secretary, I mean, against the lead counsel, as well as some, I mean, memos that were, I mean, memos that were directed to the lead, I mean, to the secretary from the commission chair relating to, I mean, the conduct of, I mean, certain sales. So yes, so it was, I think, two things. The allegations that were made against the lead counsel and the response provided by the lead counsel, as well as, I mean, some, I mean, correspondence between the commissioners and, I mean, the secretary, then secretary.
That was it.
Yes, that's what I understand.
Mr. Moreno, number 17 in your statement. Property that Isafadi was occupying. Do you know the outcome of that property?
No, unfortunately, I don't know what the outcome of the property is. I mean, of the property is, but I have been, I mean, made to understand. I cannot confirm that actually, I mean, the property was eventually forfeited to the state. Whether it was subsequently sold by the receiver, I'm not sure, but I am made to understand that it was actually part of those properties that was forfeited to the state.
But it was forfeited to the state?
Yes.
After the eviction?
Yes.
Thank you very much, Mr. Moreno.
Thank you. Thank you, Honorable.
Thank you, Mr. Moreno. That will be all from the members of the committee. And legal can have any follow-up questions? Okay. In the absence of any follow-up, then the meeting will adjourn now until.
Sorry, Honorable Chair, for interrupting.
Okay.
So I don't have more questions for today, but the witness will come back next week after he confirms his chair.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. Certainly, yes. So the meeting is adjourned until tomorrow 11. And once more, Mr. Moreno, thank you for answering questions.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Honorable. It's my pleasure.
Meeting adjourned.